why you were using this mallet, right? The reason why I asked that is because I didn't know which grip you were playing. I didn't know if you were using muzzle grip, if you would, because just the previous comment by Dr. Green was talking about like having the full control of the mallet. And your melody in your right hand was fantastic, but when you were playing your left hand on that, especially on that descending line, it looked as if like everything was moving all at the same time. It looked like overuse of like your arm. And it looked like obviously like the inner mallet goes with another note sometimes. So can I see you do that one more time? Yeah. Oh, so you were using your inside mallet. Yeah, so if you're playing cross grip, sometimes you want to think about how can we get this going and have that independence. Yeah, so you're just gonna be more so a push here from the thumb. Because what we don't want to do is look like we're losing control of the mallet. And what I'm saying, like there's a difference in this versus, you see? So try to see if we can get a little bit more isolation from your inner mallet. And also, good. So that was a bit of improvement. Also, now it's not just that we hit the bar, it's where did we hit the bar. So if I say play on the upper manuals, play on the black notes, where would you play? So if you told somebody to play, what would you tell them to play? No, I'm just saying, if you said, hey, play on the blackboard, what would you say? Where would you tell them to play? No, tell me, where would you tell them to play? Like instructions. At the edge. Which is a common misconception. That if I play on the edge, I can play, this is the edge, this is the edge, this is the edge. So what I tell a lot of students is make sure you say the extreme edge, because oftentimes we try to get the whole mallet on there, and that like dampens and chokes the tone, because now you're getting really close to the nose, which is what you just did. You like, right? And so we could hear that from outside. Sometimes you were so far on the nose that the instrument started to die. So when you think about like extreme edge, because we want to still be able to get that full tone. Versus, because when you start playing the notes or too far inside, you start to get that thud. And we start to get the thud of the mallet versus the tone of the bar. Also, so one thing about this piece, it is somewhat repetitive. Like there's like the A section, and there's a B, and there's a C, and then there's a repeat back to. The thing about it is, if you're playing like you're playing a line and everything is just the same, it starts to sound a little bit monotone. If I came up and say, thank you for doing this, I appreciate everything that you're doing, you're having this sound really, really well, you start to just disregard what I'm saying because everything's the same. What you can do is think about how am I going to play the first section, and if I have to repeat it again, even though the music says repeat, how are you going to change your music with it? So you can think about, maybe I can play, change the dynamic. That's the first thing. So you need to start softer, and as Dr. Green was saying, think about your piano. I always say your loudest will be louder if your softest are softer. So I'm not saying play so soft that it's inaudible, but you can play soft enough to where now the audience is engaged. They're like, what's he doing? Is he playing? Can I listen? Now you're really engaged in what's going on. And then the next time when you increase the dynamics, then that increases the energy of what it sounds like happening. You're actually playing the same thing, but now you're adding a little bit more energy because the volume has increased. So there's a repeat of the section that you played at the beginning. I want to see if you can play that at a softer dynamic, and then the next time you repeat, play it just to hear it louder. So I would say go from like piano to mezzo forte. Try it. Not the dum, but there was a section after that. Yes, that repeats, right? Okay, so play it the first time softer, and then the next time play with a little bit more energy. Try it. Even more down. So when I say down, volume down. Try to get 2, ready, down. so we know that our left hand is the accompaniment. How can we have more inflection with the right hand? So just play the right hand by itself. Is every note the same importance? No, it's not. It's not. When I say is every note important, right? So what I'm hearing is versus, right? Some of those are the smaller inflections. How can we play the right hand and have that be a little bit more expressive, and then our left hand still remain accompanied? You know what I'm saying? So let this be the, like if we're in a band, this is the percussion section. They always try to push us to the back and act like we don't care, but we're the people that make it important, right? We're underneath, and the melody is on top. All right, so let the melody sing out just ahead while the rhythm section lays back and keep it in pocket. Try that. Oh, I see you both together.
can imagine dynamically. So I grew up playing with crayons. Maybe you did too. When I was growing up, you know, going to the restaurant, get the kids meal, they get either the red, the yellow, and the blue. Yeah. Do with that what you will. And going to kindergarten, maybe we had a 12-pack of crayons, maybe we had a 6-pack of crayons. But I have always been a fan of the 64 box of crayons. Yeah. With the sharpener on the back, you know, that's how you use cool in elementary school. When you had that big old pack of crayons and color pencils with the sharp, you was doing something. Yeah. You were kicking dust out of the mud hole, as the old folks used to say. So saying all that to say, dynamically, we limit ourselves by what box of crayons we pick up. Now we can do forte, mezzo forte, piano, aka red, yellow, blue. Or we can color all of the shades in that 64 box of crayons. Because I'm a fan of red, but I also like fire truck red. I like candy apple red. I like red violet. I like blue. I like aquamarine. I like teal. I like seafoam green. I like regular green. I like all of the different colors. So dynamics aren't just red, yellow, blue. Dynamics are whatever you make them at the time. So your forte can be forte. You can have what's called meno forte, which is less forte, but it's still forte. You have più forte, which means more forte. You can have fortissimo, fortissimo, however many F's you want to add on top of the fortissimo. But that just is, those are different gradients, different shades. So if fortissimo is red, then we got the fire truck, we got the candy apple, we got fire extinguisher red, we got these curtains red, we got your hat red, like all of the reds. So saying that to say, there are a lot of sections where we can explore those dynamics. So take that whole last section. Take like the very last section. So even that. As it's getting more intense and you're going down the keyboard, we can start to grow dynamically. That way we add to that tension. Try that and add a crescendo. Come on with it. Yeah. Just that. Change that whole section. All right, I won't hold that part against you. Cool. As Dr. Lawhorn said, this is another one of those repetitive solos. So how can we change that? We can alter those dynamics. So I won't harp on that part. When you are playing, when you go to a different, because you're going to different chords. When you go to the different group, make sure you don't whack the bars. So try the intro, but I want you to think up. I want all of your energy to be dedicated to pulling the mallet off the bar, not putting the mallet into the bar. From the top. Cool. Let's go to the valse section. You know what a valse is? German word for waltz, which is still a German word, so I don't know how we translate that. But, so you know what a waltz is? Yeah, so it's a dance in 3/4. So that whole valse section, it should be dancing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Like, it should be dancing. Now, if I knew how to waltz, you know, we should be ballroom dancing. That ain't what God gave me. So, when you thinking of that, have that in mind. Have that dance character in mind, not just it's slower. Can we try that waltz section? Cool. So, traditionally, waltzes are played with an orchestra. What do you think your left hand is? What instrument would that be in an orchestra? Almost. Bigger cello. Bass. Yeah. So your left hand is the double bass. Boom, boom, boom. So don't think of it as but more, because when you hear double bass, then you hear the resonance in that huge instrument body, in that huge cavity. Think like we on the beach, so think like a beach ball. How when you hit it, it goes up, up, up. Try that. Approach it softer. Approach it not softer and dynamic, softer in attack. Like when you playing with a beach ball, you ain't just gonna hit it. Try it. First thing. You mind if I touch your wrist? Cool. Start from there. Good. Yeah. That's gonna solve a lot of your problems. Yeah. Cool. So once we're comfortable here, continue to shape the line and make it interesting. Because like Doc was saying, if I just talk to you like this, everything is going to get really boring very, very fast. So when those repetitive sections, like shape the line, make us interested, keep your interest. Because a lot of times when we play this stuff, like, bro, this is all right. I'm gonna play it, but it's boring, and we lose focus. I have countless pieces where I played and zoned out. So we got to keep ourselves engaged just as much as the audience engaged, because we're musicians. A lot of times we're playing to musicians as well. Cool? Great job. Can we get another hand?
Okay, next up on the program we have Indrick, one of the Saints, playing Ballerina, Ernesto, by Ernesto, Lacuna.
All right, let's give Andrew another hand. All right, let me ask you, how long have you been working on this piece? Like a few months? 5 months, okay. One of the pieces that I wrote, one of the comments that I wrote was good command and knowledge of the piece. And one thing I will say is a lot of what we play, you have tools, right? Like I have a bag of tools at home, and I have a screwdriver, then I have a power drill, right? I have the power drill because it makes my job easier. I don't have to work as hard. Like screwdriver, I'm doing this all day. The power drill is good to go. So I'm making that analogy because of the mallets that you have. They're very soft. Right. So, and the thing about it is, a lot of the issues that we have with this instrument, a lot of it comes down to mallet choice. So, because you play the full range of instrument, this mallet sounds great down here, but the softness of this mallet doesn't translate to what you're playing up here. So, a lot of what you're playing in this upper register is somewhat lost because these mallets are soft. So, you're having to overcompensate and play a little harder. And then it sounds a bit more harsh because you're having to overwork. So my first suggestion is going to be that you get a harder mallet. Right? So play some of this, and this is just a slightly harder mallet. Right? Play some of what you were playing in the upper register with that mallet and see how it, like you don't have to work as hard because it's going to speak for you. Try it. The same thing. See, even then, we lost all of that, right? So it's not that you can't play. And by no means am I saying you can't play. It was a fantastic performance. But the mallet choice that you were using a screwdriver, right? You were having to work really, really hard, whereas having a mallet work for you. So that's one of the first things I'm going to say. Suggest that one that you get a harder mallet, and one that covers the range of the instrument. Now you can't get a mallet that's too hard. Something like so when you get down to this register, now we're hearing like the clang, right? So it's not that we need a hard mallet, we just need a slightly harder mallet. And so like I talk to my students a lot of times, the first thing I think about is like you want to make sure that the mallets that you're using are enhancing your play versus hindering your play. And so I'm going to suggest that one that you get a slightly hard mallet. One that can typically they're going to go from soft to hard. So they're going to go soft, medium, medium, hard. I would suggest you get a medium mallet because typically that can cover the full range of the instrument. And then I would say like test it out and see, okay, am I getting the same like softness in the upper register that's going to hinder my playing? Or if I'm playing something that's a little bit more faster, if I get too hard of a mallet, am I literally breaking the bars or playing a little too hard down here? The next thing I'm going to ask you is how do you approach your octaves, like playing octaves? so what are you trying to, like, when you say, okay, I'm gonna play octaves, how are you doing it? So you looking at both hands, or you trying to see the whole board? How are you approaching octaves? Yeah, that's kind of, I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but the whole time, you're doing like this, right? Like, you're trying to focus and see how, like, what can I do? So one thing I'm gonna ask that you suggest is, like, in your warm-ups, like, if you're playing your scales, I'm gonna put the microphone down. I can speak loud. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Right. So when you approach your scales, think about just trying to have unison movement. Right? Try to have unison movement, that your hands are going up at the same rate, so that you're not having to look at everything. You're kind of focusing on one hand at a time. So I'm not looking at everything. I'm kind of just looking at one hand and just trying to make sure that my hands are moving in unison movement. And that would help with some of the inaccuracies that you may have. Because sometimes this is great. That's not so much. Or we're moving up. Not so great. Right? It's because you're maybe looking at everything a little bit too much. And I have an exercise called no flams one, also kind of called hell. To where you're either doing 8 notes like right, and I can send it to you. I can do it directly and get the email and send it to you. But the thing is, what we're trying to do is just focus on unison movement at the same time. So can I get you to do just get on an instrument and try and go up an octave chromatic in two hands. Like on the octave, go up chromatic. Right, so here you go. 1 and 2 and ready and 8 notes. So yeah, 2 CNC. Start on CNC. 2 and ready and play. No, 8 notes. 1 and 2 and ready and play and right. So doing the same thing, but look at one mallet and try to see if we can move up and down at the same time. Yeah, unison. So 1 and 2 and ready and play and yeah. It's gonna take some work because you're so used to trying to look at the entire board when you don't have to. It's like okay, sports analogy. You're doing a running play and all you have to do is hand off, but you're looking at everything. Just hand off the ball, right? So what I'm saying is just look at one thing, just focus on one thing instead of trying to look at the entire board. Now you can focus on the musicality of movement versus the accuracy of everything, because now you have your hands, you know what your hands do. Alright? So I think some of the stuff that couldn't come out as far as like the soloistic stuff was really, really good. It's just the clarity of it, it sounded like because the mallet wasn't able to play as clear. So I don't have a lot to say about what you played because I'm like, okay, that sounds really good, it's just the mallet's not hard enough. And then, but one of the things I wanted to address technique-wise was just how you go and approach your octaves. So just think about playing, like when you play your scales, like even if you're just gonna be like, right? You can just still be able to do those things. So whenever instead of getting behind the instrument, just going, just take some time and see how we can get these octaves together. Because that's one thing as well. Also, double stops. What's the difference in double stops and flams? So I asked what's the difference between double stops and flams. He said double stops is
at the same time.
And a flam is what?
That's a grace note.
All right. So when you were playing your octave stuff, some of it came off as flams because we weren't attacking at the same time. And so have you ever heard of things called green scales? George Hamilton Green. Okay, so George Hamilton Green was this legendary xylophone player. He has this book that has all of these instructions to xylophone and things like that. And the first lesson is ragtime green scales. And number 12 or 13. The exercise is like this. And the whole point of it is so that you can get is not to have your flams, is to make sure that everything is double stops played together. So now if you're trying to do like a grace, that's different versus. And sometimes I think some of your attacks were just a bit flammy versus being able to have good double stops. So we want to just make sure you like three things to work on. Work on one, the articulation of the melodies that you play with. Two, being able to get those octaves together. And then three, I would say like just start to work on like trying to make sure you're playing double stops versus those. I think you did a really, really good job of being expressive. Is this a piano accompaniment?
Yes.
Yeah. So the fact that you're playing this unaccompanied is really, really good. So I could tell like, okay, he had really good command of the soloistic stuff. And I think you did a really good job of expressing that. We just want to make sure like some of those finer little things we can work on. All right. Thank you. Give them a hand.
Next, and the final person on our programs. Our next person and our final soloist of the morning is going to be Tyjon Francis.
have you heard the actual piece? Because this is what's called a transcription. And this transcription of an orchestral tune, I believe it's from another ballet. Have you heard the actual piece? Cool, so you know the actual piece. And I was wondering, because I heard you put that, you put maybe like a quarter wrist in between it. I guess that's not a quarter wrist, but you played that part faster. What was the creative reason for it? You thought it'd be cool? I understand. We just want to make sure that when we are playing transcriptions, that we don't take it too far out of its original context. Especially in situations like this, because I'm sure myself and Dr. Lawhorn have both heard this piece like in many different settings. They have a percussion ensemble arrangement, they have a wind ensemble arrangement, every arrangement, but we want to make sure we're staying true to the original piece. Other than that, I heard a couple of times where you have some double stops. Make sure that we aren't flaming those as Dr. Lauren just talked about. But I'm interested, can you play the beginning one more time? Cool. So, if I'm not mistaken, that is on the off. It comes in on the and of one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 1. So make sure we feel that it's on the off beat. Try it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. 1, 2, break and play and 1. Yeah. Good. So make sure that we feel that because that's what the composer wanted. He wanted it to feel off beat. Roll speed. So again, I'm gonna set this down too, Doc. So roll speed doesn't always have to be fast. I'm gonna grab it. So, are you familiar? Are you familiar with like a B3 organ? So, for all my church musicians, a B3 organ is the quintessential church instrument. You can't have black church without a B3. I mean, you can, but most black churches have a B3. With that being said, there's the amplifier is called the Leslie, and when you're hearing a B3, a lot of times the Leslie is off, and you might get this, but when the Leslie goes on, that's what gives the organ that tremolo sound. So we can approach our roll speed the same way. So I'm a church kid. I grew up in church, so that's how I learned a lot of these musical concepts. We can approach roll speed much like an organ player approaches a Leslie. So roll speed, we can increase tension by increasing that roll speed. Or if we have like a subtle section, we can make the instrument sing with a softer roll speed. Why is that happening? I'm glad you asked. So whenever you hit the instrument, you effectively mute the bar because the whole bar is resonating, right? So if I don't give the bar a chance to ring, I'm getting more attack than I'm getting tone. Make sense? So if I'm in a section where I'm trying to make the instrument sing, I'm gonna give it a chance to. By allowing it to ring in between my attacks. Because if I'm doing this, you hear my mallet, and that's why it feels more tense. Can you play the section that's a bit more subtle with all the rolls? After that. Mike, let's start from here. So that's at the end, a little bit before that. It's like a B section. It's like yes. But I want you to try And if you want to convey some tension, we can speed the roll speed up. Because roll speed is not a one size fits all. Try that. Yep, now let's try it and speed it up. B, sorry. Yeah, so tension. Well, I'm going to create tension and I'm going to release. Creating tension and I'm going to release. Cool? Try that. Yeah, so again, so let me explain it better. Sorry. Slower roll speed. Speed up here. Slower roll speed there. Yeah. That creates a whole lot more tension than just. That sounds like you had too much coffee. But we can. Cool? All right, last thing. Go back to the beginning real quick. All right. Which one of those two notes is the melody? F sharp, yeah. All right. So this B is just an accompaniment. I don't know if you've seen the Temptations, but the B is Otis. We know what they said about Otis. Ain't nobody can see it. That's David Ruffin. He's singing a solo. Otis is still important because we need the harmony in the background. Cool? So try it this time, bring the B down in dynamic. Good. Last thing, again with the double stops. Make sure that we're just not getting, because now the Temptations at a step. And you look like Otis that one time, you know the moves. We don't want to be that person. Cool? Great job, man.
Okay, so now we're about to transition into our honorary percussion ensembles. So our first ensemble is going to be the Face Place Ensemble, and they're playing 5 jams. It is a snare quintet, and it's by Robert Miriam.
prefer it, and I would even suggest you all stand up playing this. And I know we're playing with drum set stands, so they can only go so high. However, I was watching the technique, and some of y'all are literally playing with the snare drum at y'all chest, and that creates some tension here, and it doesn't give you the full range of motion that you would like when you're playing snare drum. So that's one thing. But other than that, man, the solo was phenomenal. I was worried what it was going to sound like with 3 drums.
Our next ensemble is going to be the Palm Beach Lake Studio Ensemble. They will be playing Tango Argentino by
Most of these kids are elementary and middle schoolers, okay? But they work hard, they try to do the best they can, so y'all just give them a warm welcome, make them feel good about what they're
Wow. I am speechless because it takes an amazing amount of confidence to do what y'all just did. An amazing amount. I get it, this can be intimidating, especially when you don't have marimbas, when you don't have timpani, when you don't have the full front ensemble setup. But despise not small beginnings.
Come on,
and I speak confidence into y'all.
come on.
Because this takes a lot. Even playing as a concert-trained percussionist, playing multi-percussion pieces, I played pieces where I had to scream and it was written in the music and it felt weird. A lot of this stuff is going to feel weird, but it's okay because you are a peculiar people. That's what we are designed to be. With that being said, lean into what y'all are doing. Because if y'all are confident, can't nobody tell you nothing. If y'all believe what y'all are doing, like I saw the smiles, like once it came together, like the smiles between the snare drummer and my man on piano. What is your name? Who playing the bells? What's your name, man? Jeremiah. Oh man, can we give it up for Jeremiah? Jeremiah was doing this thing. You were holding it down, playing the bells, and you went to the kitchen implements. I was like, he is back here doing it. Everybody else around, don't be afraid to play your part. That's all we are here to do in life. Play your part. Make an impact where you're supposed to make an impact and do your thing. Stay in your lane. And I think everything that y'all just did, the transition to the drum break, and then even like toward the last little bit of the solo, even some of the chords that seemed out of the key, to my ear, I was like, okay, I can hear where you're going. And to you, it might sound like a mistake, but to us, because our ear is trained for, we have had to take music theory and take 20th century theory and all this other stuff. What sounded like a mistake to you wasn't a mistake to us. It was completely in context. You just did something completely different. And it felt weird, but all of y'all, please be confident. Y'all have something great going on.
Test. All right, I'm really over here trying to keep it together because, man, I just remember like my start. I just remember being 7 years old, running down to church, like trying to play. I remember my uncle's like, man, why are you stopping playing football? And I was like, because I want to do the thing that's like, give me a letter jacket. Like, I lettered in music, my height when I was a freshman. But I remember people making fun of me because I wanted to play music. I was playing drums at church. I was at church like every day. Yeah. And I just remember like, I'm looking at old boy on, what's your name again, Jeremiah? Like, I just remember like being that age and just saying like, I want to be good. I want to be successful. And if God can just take me where he wants me to be. Yeah. And so now I'm looking at you, like I'm living my dream now, this position that I have, but I'm looking at you just remembering like that start. And if I just had the resources to get where it was. So director, like if I could give you everything out my bag, I really would. Right. But I'm finna go in my bag and give you like everything I can as far as malice is concerned. Wow. To make sure that my purpose in life is I aspire to inspire before I expire. But I'm just like so inspired by what y'all are doing because it just means like it don't take much to do many. Like it really doesn't. And whatever I can do, like whatever resources I have endorsements with companies and stuff like that. But whatever I can do to assist y'all, like please let me know. Like just let me know, and I'm trying to make it happen because I can. Like I just remember what it was like to get started, and to say like you can do whatever it is you want to do. I know we're in a faith-based place. I'm a believer, and I just know like whatever y'all choose to put your mind to, you can make it happen. And don't let nobody talk about your instruments. Don't let nobody talk about like your start. Because you can make, like you seriously can. You seriously can. And I'm looking at y'all and I'm thinking about this start. And I just thank God for everything. And I thank God for y'all. I thank God for y'all director. Like, y'all just keep going. Please, like, please keep going. Because you just never know